You still in Jeremiah? Read that again. It's a reason. I gotta look at the reason. It's a reason why the Most High say He's gonna do this. But if you don't see a reason why the judgment gonna come down, then you gotta. I think you need to start looking at the news, looking at something to see all the things that's going on right now. I looked at the news and tried to look at the weather, and this dude, he came to the store, and he stole some Doritos with the cheese Doritos. I guess they had cheese Doritos where they had made them, and he stole those. And went outside the door, and the clerk went outside after him. This dude pulled a gun and came in the store and started shooting at him. He ran out the door. Clerk ran out the door. He missed it, but he showed a hole in the wall. Shoot at him. Now he got to deal with big time. I mean, he got away. All he stole was some nacho cheese. What is it? Nacho cheese. Nachos. That's nacho cheese. You know what I mean? With some cheese on it. Some nachos. He done got away. The clerk came out the store looking, and wasn't no scuffle or nothing. He came, he pulled a gun out, pulled his gun out. He ain't robbed the store. He just got some some cheese nachos. He got away with it. The clerk just went outside the store looking at him. He chased him back in the store and started shooting at him. It's crazy, man. I mean, that's why Mosiah gotta deliver us from this wicked kingdom, man. Jeremiah 16:16. Yes, come.
Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Most High, and they shall fish them. And afterwards send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain, and from every hill, and from out of the holes of the rock. For mine eyes are upon all their ways. They are not hid from my face.
So he said, his eyes are upon all their ways. Everything they're doing, man. Most I say his eyes are upon all their ways. They are not hid from his face. As I said, read.
Neither is there iniquity hid from mine eyes. Neither
is there iniquity hid from his eyes. Why? Get Ecclesiasticus 23:19. It's on page 84 if you have the read Apocrypha of the Cambridge University Press. He said their wickedness, their sins are not hid from his eyes. That's why I say, remember what he said. He going to visit the iniquity and the sins of the Edomites. Read that.
Sirach 23 verse 19.
Yes.
Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Most High are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. So the eyes of the Most High
are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, as I mentioned earlier. Read.
Beholding all the ways of men.
Hear that? You hear that? Beholding all the ways of men. Everything you're doing, read.
And considering the most secret parts.
And considering the most secret parts. So you think you're doing something in secret. He's watching you. Because his eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Go to Ecclesiastes 17 and 15. Then jump down to verse 19. Ecclesiastes 17, 15, and then verse 19. On page 80.
Sirach 17 and 15. Their ways are ever before him, and shall not be hid from his eyes.
That their ways are always before the Most High, and shall not be hid from his eyes that are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Read.
Every man from his youth is
verse 19.
19. Therefore all their works are as the sun before him.
Hear that? All their works are as the sun before him. But how is his eyes compared to the sun? You got one sun. S-U-N I'm talking about, right? You got one sun. Their ways are before him as the sun before his eyes, right? But his eyes are what? 10,000 times brighter than that one sun. Go ahead. Verse 20.
None of their unrighteous deeds are hid from him, but all their sins are before the Most High.
There it is. See? So, none of the unrighteous deeds are hid from the Most High. That's why the judgment is going to come down the way it's come down. It's like we have been judged. We've been judged. Go back to Jeremiah 16, verse 18.
Jeremiah 16 and 18. And first I will recompense their iniquity and their sin double.
See? He said first, he gonna pay them back, man. He gonna reward their sins double. He gonna reward their sins double. Read.
Because they have defiled my land and filled my inheritance with their carcasses of the detestable and abominable things.
See? They have defiled the Most High's land of Israel and have filled the Most High's inheritors with the carcasses of their detestable and abominable things, man. Things that are against the dietary laws. Now, why is the Most High going to give them double? Isaiah 41 and 2. Isaiah the 40th chapter, 1 and 2. See, this is only fair as you see, I'm showing you how the Most High is just and fair in whatever he does. Yeah, well, that's what we say. They're going to get double. There's a reason why they're going to get double. Because remember, he going to visit the iniquity of their sins. So now, that's the judgment that's coming upon them. Now, here we are in Isaiah 40th chapter, the first verse and the second verse.
Isaiah 40 verse 1. Comfort ye my people, saith your power.
Yeah, comfort, be comforted. 12 tribes of Israel. This is what the Most High is saying through Mashiach Yahushua, through the Spirit. Read.
Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem and cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished.
See, our warfare is accomplished. Read.
That her iniquity is pardoned.
Our iniquity, our sins are pardoned. Read.
For she hath received of the Most High's hand double for all her sins.
So isn't it fair? We received double for all our sins. So now, he said, hey, Esau, Edomites, y'all going to receive double for all your sins. That's why I go to Revelation 18. 18th chapter. And the 5th verse.
Revelation 18 verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquity.
So her sins are reached unto heaven, and the Most High remembered her sins. Read.
Reward her even as she have rewarded you.
So who's it talking about? Who's this talking about? Verse 2.
And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the whole of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
Right, so here go Babylon again. Remember? Daughter of Edom, daughter of Babylon, who was Edom. So it's still correlating right with the Edomites. So this is what's going on. This like we got double for all our sins. That's why I read verse 6.
Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works, and the cup which she hath filled to her double.
That's right. So all the wickedness that she have done, she gonna get double, just like we got double. But people trying to justify, you can't justify it. Not according to the scripture. Not according to the scriptures, you can't. Jeremiah 16:19. Jeremiah 16:19.
Jeremiah 16, verse 19. O Most High, my strength and my fortress, and my refuge in the day of affliction. The nations shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, Surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit.
That's what they're going to say. It's already written. This is the ends of the earth where we're at now. These are the last days. And the nations going to come, these Gentile nations outside the 12 tribes, going to come and say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. Because what profit are they going to get when they never going to know the way of the Most High and never going to know the way of a Mashiach Yahushua? Come on. We can go through all these, who you want to name, and we can see if they going to receive what it is that everybody, a lot of people are trying to bring forth for these nations. It doesn't equate with the word of the Most High. Get Nehemiah 13:1. Nehemiah 13:1.
Nehemiah 13, verse 1. On that day, they read in the book of Moses in the audience of the people, and therein was found written that the Ammonite and the Moabite should not come into the congregation of the Most High forever.
How long?
Forever.
Hear that? So, the Ammonite and the Moabite, which are nations that came from Lot, they should not come into the congregation of the Most High. How long? Forever. You see? Forever. So that's why I ask people, okay, who are our people so concerned when it says Gentiles? Who are they concerned about bringing in? The Chinese, the Japanese? I never heard that before. Y'all? You ever heard that out? You never heard that? You ever heard the Eskimos, the Vietnamese, Cambodians, Samoans? You don't hear about who? The so-called white man. White people. Why is that? I mean, that just show you how destroyed our people are. They don't care nothing about the other nations. What about Japheth? You see what I'm saying? Nobody talk about Japheth. Everybody concerned about so-called white men. Really. When you get down to the nitty-gritty, and you bring it, because you see, the Ammonite and the Moabite not going into the congregation forever. Then you look at the enemies of the Most High, Psalms 83. These enemies of the Most High. So how are they, when do they become not the enemies of the Most High? Psalms 83rd chapter.
Psalms 83, verse 1. Keep not thy silence, O Most High, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Most High. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head.
So here it said the enemies of the Most High and of Mashiach Yahushua. Because they all, Mashiach Yahushua said in John 10 and 30, I and my Father are one. So they agree together. You ain't going to separate them. And you're going to separate the Spirit of the Most High, which is the Holy Spirit. You say, they make a tumult, with an uproar, revolting, rioting, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. That's why David said he hate them that hate the Most High with perfect hatred. He count them his enemies. They that hate the Most High, they that hate Mashiach Yahushua, have lifted up their head. Read.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and have consulted against thy hidden ones.
Yeah, we the hidden ones. But we don't know who we are. It's the 12 tribes of Israel. They have taken crafty counsel against the Most High people, thy people. We showed you who the Most High people was in Exodus 3 and 10. Children of Israel, you see? This is what they have done, read.
They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Yasharallah may be no more in remembrance.
Yes, it say Israel here, but his name, our name in Hebrew is Yasharallah. Yah. The Most High's name is within our name. Yah. Sharallah. Most High is Yahweh. You see, so his name is in our name. So they said, let's take the name of the Most High from us. Because no matter what our name was in Hebrew, we still knew that we was Yah. Sharallah. We knew that. So they had to change our names. That's why we don't have our names. That's why they want you to go back to your slave name. They don't want us to have the name that we would have in Hebrew. A lot of us have become victims of that. They want you to have your slave name. Huh? Right. Khan. Right. You see? Perfect example. Khan. Because they want you to be called by their name. And that's what they have done, man. I mean, take the name of Israel out of remembrance. Diabolical plan. Look. Go to Daniel's first chapter. And read verse 6 and 7. I'm just going to give you an example of this. Daniel's first chapter. And hold that. We're going to come back to it. Get Daniel's 1 and 6. This is what they done. The first chapter, the 6th and 7th verse. And I'm just showing you how in these captivities they changed our names. And it's the reason why they changed our names, so we couldn't call on our power. We would lose our identity with our power. Listen what they did, read.
Daniel 1 and 6. Now among these were the children of Judah, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Right.
So, this was their names, as written here. Read.
Unto whom the prince of the eunuchs gave names. For he gave unto Daniel the name of Belteshazzar, and Hananiah of Shadrach, and to Mishael of Meshach, and to Azariah of Abednego.
Right. You see how they changed our names. So, what about these names? Go to Daniel, the 4th chapter, and book it at verse 8. Because the king had a dream, and his musicians and astrologers and witches couldn't determine it. So he called Daniel. Let's read.
Daniel 4 and 8. But at the last Daniel came in before me, whose name was Belteshazzar.
So that's what they named Daniel, Belteshazzar. Read.
According to the name of my God.
Read that again.
According to the name of my God.
See, so if Daniel, they calling him the name of his God, hoping that Daniel will forget his power, the most high power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But it didn't happen. But see, he named them after the name of his God. Read.
And in whom is the spirit of the holy gods, and before him I told the dream, saying, O Belteshazzar, master of the magicians, because I know that the spirit of the holy gods is in thee.
So now listen. Remember, Psalm 96:5 says, for all the gods of the nations are what? Idols, you see? But you hear what they call them? Their gods? Holy. No different than what they call these demons that they set up for us to worship, no matter statues or whatever it is, that the people bowing down and worship. Same thing. Ain't no different. Ain't nothing new under the sun, man. Here it is right here. The spirit of the holy God. So you think they won't call whatever it is that they dealing with holy, pure and true and righteous? Here it is right here. And you know it's not righteous, but they call it holy. Read.
Not again. O Belteshazzar, master of the magicians, because I know that the spirit of the holy gods is in thee, and no secret troubleth thee. Tell me the visions of my dream that I have seen, and the interpretation thereof.
Right. So, I just want to show you how they changed the names. They changed our names. It's like in this contemporary captivity, or this captivity that we're in now, they changed our names. Your name is Kunta Kunta. Pow! Your name is Toby. And they beat him. So he said, my name, what's your name? What's your name, nigga? My name is Toby. Toby is my name. Toby. Beat it in him. I mean, they show us this. They still, at this day in 2016, want you to be called by the name that they called you. Their name. Their last name. It's not our last name, unless you change your name legally. And if there's ways that you can change your name legally and not have to deal with the slave name. You see what I'm saying? But until then, they're going to want you to be whatever it is that you identify as a captive, who your mama, who was the informant, put on your birth certificate. Look at that name that she signed. It say the informant. You inform America that now we have a new slave, because everybody's slaves. Got a birth certificate. Look at there. When she signed that, it says the informant. You inform the corporation of America that we have a new slave. Look at your birth certificate. You don't call your mother the informant. She signed it. Who? Signed it right over to who? To the government. To the corporation, I might say. That's what we belong to. If you have the identity of the birth certificate and so forth, or whatever it is that they have, license and all that, that's you part of the system. That's why they can come and take your children anytime they want to. No matter how you think you own them. When you sign that over, when you sign that, you sign your children over to them. And when they want to come in and take them, they can do whatever they want to do. Ain't nothing you can do about it. That's why we got to come to higher levels of learning to be able to combat through the spirit of the Most High, man, what it is that's going on with us in a higher level of spiritual awareness. I'm going to read verse 19 of Jeremiah, the 16th chapter. So, O Most High, my strength and my fortress, my strength and my fortress, my protection, my shield, and my refuge in the day of affliction. And that's where we at right now, y'all. We're in a time of Jacob's trouble. That's why I push so much the fear of the Most High, so we can do what's right as a people. Because everybody going to bow down now. They're going to bow down later. But they're going to bow down to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And that's to the Most High and a Mashiach Yahushua. Every knee gonna bow. Well, they want to bow down now, they're gonna bow down, but they're gonna bow down. Straight up. So you might as well start learning now. Because see, we have done so much against the Most High and sinning that to the point now we just say like, oh, it's normal. What's wrong with you? This is normal. This is normal behavior to be all wicked and be sinning and so forth. He say, look, O Most High, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction. So we got to use him as a refuge in the day of affliction. The Gentiles, these other nations outside of the 12 tribes, shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, where we at now, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. And that's us too. We the children of Israel also. Right up in here. Because we the Gentiles also. And what kind of hope do our people have that's following Caesar Borgia, praying to him and standing up for him? What kind of hope do our people have that's going around a stone 7 times, throwing rocks at it, talking about this is forgiving them their sins? Or some haven't made it there, but then you know that's what those that are following this religion are doing, right? How do you come out of that? I mean, it is what it is. They got Buddha sitting up there, a Tao. You go to all these Asian stores, they got Buddha right there, got Twinkies and candles and incense and all that stuff, putting food, apples and under there. They be there till they rot. It's not consuming nothing, right? But this is what our people caught locked into, because we are spiritual people. We always looking for something to grab us. So I say vanities, things that's worthless, lies. Come on, we've been lied to. It started with the Most High telling Esau, you can't get around it. No matter how you look at it, it's still going to come down to our captors and how they program us to think until this day. Can't get around it. It's all here. It's just a matter of how you see it spiritually. You say, we did it. Yeah, our people were programmed from slavery. We came out of slavery and we had many, many inventions that we had created unto this day. They didn't teach us about the inventions that we invented. They told us we was in Africa fleeing, rolling around with butt naked, right? Like them Africans over there. That wasn't us. We had a culture. You got Babylon the Timbuktu out? I have one out. But it tells you, man, how we were men of great stature, and our ability to think and create things like we created. Y'all have a cell phone? Has something to do with that. Has something to do with fast internet. Everything you look at, we have our hands in it. Them flying in the sky. I mean, they had jets, submarines, blimps, and what am I missing? Helicopters on the pyramids. On the pyramids. Carved in the pyramids. Or they say, oh, some space creatures came down and did all this. No. A brother's the one that helped them create the helicopter in these days. I'm saying, man, it's like, I'll say Israelite, because we don't know who we are. We're great people. Just like you, I mean, you can look at something and just put parts right there, all that right there, and just, as long as nobody messes with it, like you say, you can put it right back together. From the way you was raised, right? You see what I'm saying? You were raised a certain way to be able to know when you grow up, okay, here now, you're benefiting from what you knew from being taught as a child. Say, train up a child in the way to go. When he's old, he shall not depart from it. Here you are, a perfect example. I'm just using you as an example because I've seen you do it. You know what I mean? And it's amazing, as young as you are, how you can do that. But as long as you say, as long as nobody mess with whatever it is you put, wherever, you can put it together, because you said you only got puzzles, right? That was what you dealt with was puzzles. That was ingenious, man. That was ingenious for your family to do that. Well, it's probably no big deal to you, but it's a big deal when I think about it, because I see what you can do with just looking at it and then bringing it back together. Amazing, you know what I mean? But this is the level that we are at, given the opportunity. But you got to recognize it, you know, like, well, I can exalt you. Well, you're supposed to exalt ourselves, but I can't, because that's phenomenal. We have that ability. And we had great cities, man. We had great things that like Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood. It's a you know, the city up in Northern California that was populous. I mean, just populous and also great. All these cities they destroyed, man. That's what people talking about. We going over here to set up our community, this and the third. You better think again. You name them. Where we at now? What city we can say we have now? Like Tulsa, Oklahoma, where our money's generated for a whole year. It never came out of our city. Where that's at? We destroyed, man, for lack of knowledge. And when they took the Most High away from the schools, who they leave there? The devil and Satan. From the little child. Oh, you can buzz all you want to. I don't care. Certain times, you know, I say certain things, they lock into that. When there should be no noise but my voice. Shouldn't hear nothing. Because that's how the conference call's supposed to be. But it's not like that. So who they leave there? That's why it's going to get worse and worse. If you look at the children, if we don't grab these children and teach them the truth, they lock it into the way of this world, man. They're going to be at war with the Most High. Now let's go back to Psalms 83. Listen. That's why I say, when you look at, okay, well, if these nations that it's going to name are the enemies of the Most High, then how is it that they're not the enemies of the Most High? When did they become not the enemies of the Most High? You know what I mean? Because everybody's saying that they can be brought in, those that don't believe the word of the Most High. But let's see what it says. Let's read. Psalm 83 and 1. No, we had already read. It says, they have taken crafty counsel in verse 3 against thy people, the Most High's people, the 12 tribes of Israel, and consulted against thy hidden ones. That we hid away from our identity. Anytime I have 55 different identities of who we are as a people, especially just mainly the tribe of Judah. 55 different identities as a race. What's your race? I got 55 different identities. What? You got another one?
Mexican, Puerto Rican, American.
Okay.
She says that's a
56. Read. Read. Verse 4. Psalms 83 and 4.
Psalms 83 verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
See? They said that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. That's why we don't know that we the Israelites. Straight up. The name of Yahshua Allah, when you look at it in the Hebrew, shall be no more in remembrance. Take it away from our minds. And they beat it out of us. From generation to generation. Hey, don't do it. You gotta follow Master. Master gonna kill you. Big tall cat, bigger than Shaq. Little short, little Master about 4'10". and your mama tell you, hey, you follow Master, or he kill you. And a lot of them were killed until Willie Lynch came over and said, hey, man, we got to stop this. Y'all killing good product. So we ain't nothing but product, commerce. And he came with a foolproof method. Willie Lynch, you read the Willie Lynch letter of how to have us work against each other until this day. It worked. Read.
For they are consulted together with one consent.
See, they are consulted together with one consent. Go ahead.
They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom.
So it says, all these nations, like you got the United Nations, they all together. They have one consent. Take the name of Israel out of remembrance. Remembrance is your mind, so you wouldn't know who you are. This who did it. First one they named, remember they lift up their head in pride. First one they named is Edom, the so-called Caucasian race. Read.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites, you ask an Arab, who's your forefather? What will it tell you? Ishmael. The Arabs, read. Of Moab, who would represent the indigenous Chinese, read.
And the Hagarenes.
These are so-called Africans, read.
The Baal.
More Arab tribes, read.
And Ammon.
These the Japanese, indigenous Japanese, read.
And Amalek.
Amalek is the biblical name for the Jewish people, the Jewish Caucasian people, because that's Esau's son's illegitimate son, you might say. You see what I'm saying? But they're from Esau, because Esau's son, Eliphaz, got with Tamar, which is like a sidekick woman, and had a baby, and they named him Amalek. Yeah, side chick, you know. That's why they got such a problem. They are Caucasian, but they have a problem with the other ones because, you know, they're the ones that have the monies. The Illuminati, the Rothschilds, all of them, you know. They're the ones that have the majority of the monies. They control the money. So you got the money, you control everything. I mean, it's their world. Amalek. Go ahead.
The Philistines.
Philistines, those are Egyptians, so-called Africans, read.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
Most South Africans, read.
Ashur.
The Syrians, read.
Also is joined with them.
Yeah, these are all against the Most High. They're the enemies of the Most High. So how you going to make them be the friend of the Most High when it says they're the enemy of the Most High? And Wisdom of Solomon 5:7 says, as for the way of the Most High, and we have not known it. That's past tense. From now to the time that salvation is coming on this earth, it says we have not known him. Now get Deuteronomy 32 and 26. So the Most High said that we don't follow his laws, statutes, commandments. This is what he said he's going to do. So he can do it any way he wants to. We just read what they said they're going to do. Why? Let's read it. 32 and 26.
Deuteronomy 32 and 26. I said, I would scatter them into corners.
Yeah, the Most High said, I said, the Most High would scatter us, the 12 tribes of Israel, into corners, read.
I would make the remembrance of them to cease from among men.
So the Most High said, hey, that's why I said the Most High is everything. He said, I'm going to make the remembrance of you to cease from before men. And he used these enemies of the Most High to do it. Read.
Where is not that I feared the wrath of the enemy, lest the adversaries should behave themselves strangely, and lest they should say.
Yeah, he said, hey, this is what they should say. Read.
Our hand is high, and the Most High have not done all this.
Yeah. He said, our hand is high. Remember the first one that it named that's lifting up his head on high? Who is that? Edom. And they say the Most High has not done this. See? Read.
For they are a nation void of counsel, neither is there any understanding in them.
Right. See? We're a nation void of counsel, man. And where the counsel comes from, the word of the Most High. We don't want to even read. We don't even want to take the time to study. Even be taught the word of the Most High. We just want to go in here and read whatever. Some people, they read the same, been reading the same scriptures for 60 years. I read my scriptures today. What scripture is that? The same scriptures they've been reading for over 60 years. I remember this one lady, she came into the school one day. She was crying. Elephant tears. She said, I learned more in one day than I knew all my life. Just from one class. But she didn't know. She didn't have a clue. She didn't come back though. That's the whole thing. She never come back. But the thing about it, hopefully, she remembered what she was taught, and the Most High have mercy on her. But see, our people, man, they void of counsel. Neither is there any understanding in them. Read.
Or that they were wise, that they understood this, and they would consider their latter end.
Right. Oh, that they were wise, that they understood this, that they would consider their latter end, man. What's going to happen in the last days, man. So, look at Psalm 85 and 11. Psalm 85 and 11. See, some of us became wise, and some still in the darkness, the gross darkness, the gross ignorance that the Most High told Esau to get into darkness, get into ignorance, and now we have a lot of people in gross ignorance, gross darkness. But read that.
Psalms 85 verse 11.
Come.
Truth shall spring out of the earth.
So it's truth shall spring out of the earth, read.
And righteousness shall look down from heaven.
Yeah, righteousness shall look down from heaven. So Psalms 119, 142 said, truth shall spring out of the earth. Truth is springing out of the earth right now. For those that have eyes and ears to hear. Read that. Psalms 119, 142.
Psalms 119, 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth.
And the law is the truth. See? Righteousness is an everlasting righteousness. That's why it says, truth shall spring out of the earth. So, going backwards from what we just read, the law is the truth. And it says, and righteousness shall look down from heaven. So the Most High is bringing the righteousness from heaven down to us, as he calling men, to bring forth his knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to our brothers and sisters. Now, Revelations 12 and 15. Revelation 12 and 15.
Revelation 12 and 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman.
Right, so when you understand what it's saying here, because remember, truth going to spring out of the earth, and righteousness going to shine down from heaven. So this serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman. So the serpent, I guess we got to go to Revelation 12 and 3. And then verse 9, so we look at this, who the serpent is, so you understand the identity of the serpent. You'll see how it comes back to us. But let's read.
Revelation 12, verse 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head.
Right, so the dragon is red. So this red dragon, and we here because we're looking at how truth gonna spring out of the earth and how righteousness gonna shine down from heaven. So this red dragon having 7 horns and 7 heads and 10 horns, Salakia, and 7 crowns upon his head. So the 7 heads are the 7 leading leaders of the Edomite nation, the Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, the Germans, the Russian, and the British. That came in a consecutive order as such. The Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, the Germans, the Russians, the British. And we know America came out of Britain. That's that AC. You see what I'm saying? So, and the 10 horns are the European community or European economic community that support the 7 heads. Verse 9, we know the dragon is what color? Red. Read. Verse 9.
And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, was the seed of the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Right, so when you look at this, people say, oh yeah, see, there it is. The devil and Satan was cast out to the earth, and his angel was cast out with him. Like he's got rule and regulation that he's going to deal with on this earth by himself. No. Nothing, no entity supersedes the Most High. Most High have his right hand. That's where Mashiach Shai went back to his right hand, and he got his left hand, where Satan and all his angels and imps work for the Most High on the left side. Because remember, what are we dealing with? The tree of what? Good and evil. What does Satan bring? The tree of good and evil. Because he got to bring a little truth in with what? His lies. He a liar. The father of it. What did he do? First lie he told was what? You ain't going to surely die. Told Eve that. Say, hey, look, this is beautiful. And she looked at it and said, oh, yeah, it looks pretty nice. It looks pretty good. I'm hearing you. You know, she went for it. Then she fooled Adam. Adam went for it too. But Adam knew better because the Most High told him, don't eat of the tree of good and evil. Why the Most High put it there? He didn't have to put it there. He could say, you can eat of this tree of life and live forever. But what they say, we got our free will. They say that, right? You got your free will, so he put it right there and say, hey, don't eat of that. All you need is me. All you need is my son. I'm Mashiach Yahushua. That's all you need. But no, you want to go over here and eat of the tree of good and evil. We don't need to have evil. That's why he's going to get rid of evil forever and ever and ever. Going to be cast into the lake of fire when we see immortality. And the Most High is all in all. He ain't going to need Satan no more. But there he was. That's why I say, hey, what did Satan tell Eve? You can eat of me. That's all he was saying. Look at me. Beautiful angel. Beautiful. And look what I know. That's why he tried to come with a Mashiach Yahushua when the Mashiach Yahushua was rebuking him. Say, hey, cast yourself down. He went to Psalms. He didn't go to the law. You'll never see him go to the law. That's what you got to understand. But he went to Psalms. Said, hey, the angels going to pick you up in your hands. If you dash yourself down, they're going to carry you. That's tempting the Most High. No. That's why he rebuked him, man. So here he is. It says the dragon is red. So what color is the devil? The serpent is red. The dragon is red. So it says, and the great dragon, which is red, we found that out in verse 3. So the dragon got to be red. And the old serpent in the garden had to be what? What color? Red. Called the devil. So the devil got to be what color? Red. And Satan. So Satan had to be what color? Red. Which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So now let's look at Genesis 25:25. Nowhere in the Bible you're going to see this as such. But we're going from the last book to the first books of the Bible and see what it says.
Genesis 25:25. This is the firstborn son, which were twins in Rebekah's, our forebrother's womb, and Isaac, our forefather. Genesis 25:25.
Genesis 25 and 25. And the first came out red, all over, like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau.
Right, so they called his name Esau. That's the biblical name for the forefather of the Edomites, who are the so-called Caucasian. Because everybody that looks so-called white is not necessarily Edomites. Understand that? This ain't about a color thing. It's about a spirit. Like everybody that look like us might not be Israelites. Because all Israel not of Israel. You see what I'm saying? That's why you got the ones that the Mashiach Shai said they tares. They look like us. Let them grow amongst each other. In the end, you got the angels come and burn them up. First thing he said, he's going to have them bundled up and burn them up. You know why? Why do you think he would have these tares, these ones that look like us, but they'd actually the seed of the enemy, and he came and had sex with our women and created these tares, the white man's children, or these other nations' children. Why do you think first thing he's going to do is bundle them up and burn them up? When he come back, you got the angels burn them up. Why? Anybody? Because they ain't going to be able to have sex with our women in the kingdom to produce them babies over and over again. It ain't going to happen. That's why you got to burn them up. Get rid of that. Because he's not about interracial marriages. If it was, why would he give every nation their own woman? First thing he said, what are you going to do when he come back? Matthew 25:31. When the Son of Man come in his glory, he's going to separate all the nations, one from another. The shepherd divides the sheep from the goats. Going to put the sheep on the right hand and the goats on the left, man.
It did say in Daniel, because of that disobedience, he gave us the confusing faces.
Right, we got confusion of faces, but that's because, like he just said, we got 56 names of who we are as a people. We confused of who we are. Like I say, take the name of Israel out of remembrance. But as far as them tares and the ones that the Edomite have slept with our women to produce these babies, because you are the seed of your daddy, those are tares that he's talking about, that he's going to burn up. He's going to get rid of them.
I mean, a prime example, like when I was born in Jamaica, a lot of times when I go out to people that Bob Marley was Caucasian, they wanted to fight me. You know? If he even born out a documentary that his father was a white European sailor.
Yeah.
But that's why when you look at all the reggae artists, they promoted Bob Marley more than the other ones because they knew he was in the Esau.
Mm-hmm.
They knew he was Esau. That's why you ask any nation about Bob Marley, they know who he is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right. There's like a few others, they say come from Esau seed. It is what it is, We that's why I said Mashiach Shai. He knows. They know. The Most High know. Mashiach Shai know. And what he don't know, the Most High know to be able to tell him. From Bob Marley's son? Yeah. Let's see. There it is. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, those are the terrors. A lot of people don't realize that because they're not going to be able to have those babies. Whoever you come from is who you come from. You see what I'm saying? You weren't of the tribe of Naphtali. Coming back here is Levi now. No. Can't be a Judah now. And before I was some other nation or some other tribe. Because we 12 nations that make up one nation. You see? There's a lot of what people don't understand either. How can it be? Because we're 12 nations that make up one nation. Say nation's going to come out of Jacob. Yeah. But see, he don't know the way of the Most High. He never going to know the way of the Most High says. So all those that, even in the kingdom, that says never means never, right? So people talking about they working on them to know now. If that spirit is truly who it is that they are, that weird themselves in the way of wickedness and destruction, they're never going to know this. Never, ever. So you see, Going back to Revelation. So, what color Esau come out? He came out red all over like a hairy garment. Verse 26 of Genesis 25th chapter. And here come our forefather Jacob. So we just here because the dragon is red, the serpent is red, the devil is red, and Satan is red, and we just read Esau is red. These are clear indications of how the Most High is allowing us to look at this, and it's real simple, to make it simple. But it's hard for those that don't want to accept it to receive it because they're not spiritual. But read that. No, Genesis 25 and 26. But we see that the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. So that's the first identity of anybody coming on this earth with the color red. It was Esau. Verse 26.
Genesis 25 and 26. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare him.
So now Jacob came out next. It were twins. Esau came out first, and Jacob was holding on to his heel, trying to be the first one to come out. Because you know the first baby would get the inheritance. But Esau sold his inheritance for some raw meat. You see, when people talk about Esau is not the so-called white man, how they like their meat? Come on. We can go in there, but we ain't going to take that time to go through all of that. That's another story. And Isaac was 60 years old, 3 scores. The score is 20. He was 60 years old when he had them. So now going back to Revelations 12 and 15, now that we know that the dragon is red, the serpent is red, that old serpent was red, the devil is red, and Satan is red, and Esau is red. Because there, you know, when he came out, he said, Aisha, which means wasted away his heat, because his blood shows forth through his skin. Now, verse 15 of Revelation 12 chapter.
Revelation 12 and 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. So now it said a serpent. I wonder what you think about why the Most High wrote this like this. A serpent is like a snake. Cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman. So what is this talking about? Now let's get that woman in Jeremiah 6 and 2. Because the serpent, who is the devil, who is the dragon, who is Satan, who is Esau, the Edomites, cast out of his mouth as a flood after the woman. The flood represents the lies, the false education, the philosophies, the false religions, all these things that our people are caught up in. Read Jeremiah 6 and 2. Jeremiah 6 and 2. I have likened the daughter of Zion. So the daughter of Zion, we already established that Zion represents the Most High's people, who are the children of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel. Read. To a comely and delicate woman. To a comely, a beautiful and delicate woman. Okay, that's we as the 12 tribes of Israel. So now go back to Revelation 12 and 15. You wonder why our people are so destroyed and caught up in their minds, being brain polluted and not washed, because you wash something, you clean it. Mashiach Shai said in John 15 and 3, now you are clean through the word which I speak unto you. Paraphrasing. But go ahead. Revelations 12.